First off, my fault for not dropping, you know what I'm saying? It's been a minute in my life, kind of been like
early in the morning, late at night. It don't even matter what time it is. Presidential, roll it, RM, wait.
Whenever I hear something about Ken Carson, or like a normal everyday person talking about Ken Carson, I kind of get sentimental a little bit, because like he's performing at stadiums and he has all this mainstream attention. It's kind of like we watched him grow up, you know? And that kind of got me thinking, like a lot of people who found out about Ken recently or whatever, or what have you, they weren't there for the formation years of Opium. It was vastly different from the Opium we know today, especially when we consider that like some music approach and like stylistically they've changed a lot since they first started. Now Ken Carson's been there from the very start. He was the first person to get signed to Opium simply because he was tapped into a lot of the Southside and 808 Mafia and all them type niggas, and so was Carti around that time, and that's how he ended up meeting Carti and eventually getting signed by Carti, because Carti apparently heard some of his first ever songs and immediately wanted to sign him. Which, side note, I don't know if he was actually listening to the songs or what, but back then Ken used to be terrible. Either he saw the potential or he was just insanely high that day. Ken and the whole Opium music style back then was a lot more resemblant to stuff like early Whole Lotta Red and like Die Lit. So think of like the bouncy fun type sound that Carti was using during that time period. Now if you're a newer fan, you're probably just gonna go back and try to scroll through Ken Carson's discography. You're gonna find an EP called Boy Barbie, and then you're gonna think to yourself, what the hell is Boy Barbie? And then you're gonna think to yourself, who the hell is Little Unky and International Jefe? Oh, for time reference, this is all in like 2019 to 2020. Back then, Opium wasn't as concrete as how we have it today, and it didn't have a lot of the alternative imagery that they use now. But back then, Little Unky and International Jefe were also some of the first people that were quote unquote affiliated or signed to Opium. I actually don't know if they were signed or not. I think they were just associated. But for argument's sake and for the sake of the video, because they literally have projects and works called Apes on Opium, which is even referenced in the Gold Medal video. But anyway, for the sake of this video, they are signed. Now Little Unky's music is... But International Jefe is actually really good. It sucks that he doesn't get the attention as much as any other underground artist, especially when the quality floor is a lot lower now. But if you like artists like Nutty and Saw Baby, you'll fuck with Little Jefe. Another artist that was affiliated with Opium at this time is Capo DTE. There's a song of him that leaked with him and Carti on it. I forgot the song's name, but I'm pretty sure you can find it pretty easily. Capo's okay though. Another person that was associated with Opium at the time, a lot actually, was Lancey Foux. Which, side note, y'all niggas gonna stop disrespecting Lancey. I don't know where this narrative came from. I think y'all only treat him this way because he's British and that he raps like a quote unquote Atlanta nigga. But it's literally people like Skatestar that's going around that literally copy everything that, like I said, Carti does. Or you have literally people like Osamason who like literally copies everything Carti does. But Lancey's been making the type of music he's been making for a long ass time. He's been doing this shit for as long, if not longer than someone like Carti. He's been doing this for a while now. He's honestly slept on, because it's times where I would confidently put that nigga over Carti. Especially coming from his mouth where he even thinks the comparison is stupid.
If you never heard fucking Madonna and Cher, what would you say? Or if you never heard fucking Lionel Richie and Blue Robinson, what would you say? Innit?
Yeah.
Oh, Lionel Richie trying to do Blue Robinson's thing. Prince is trying to do the Michael Jackson thing. It's only when you actually look at it and open it up, you realise it's two different things. But it's also like, bro, people just, the internet, innit? People just want to just
Talk.
People just want to talk and say anything. I was on the phone to him the other day.
Yeah.
But anyway, back during this time in 2019 and 2020, Lancey and Carti were also heavily affiliated with each other. Though it's pretty clear that the reason why Lancey did not sign was because he probably did not want to be known as British Playboy Carti, even though he's more than that. So to prove to himself that he was more than that, he distanced himself from Carti just to show that he wasn't just British Playboy Carti. Apparently he also got sign offers from YSL too, ditched that for similar reasons. But anyway, going into A Whole Lotta Red finally dropping, there's a song on there titled Punk Month. And in this song, it gives us a lot of insight of what Carti's original vision for Opium really was. In this song, he claims that he wanted to sign Trippie Redd way before he was about to sign Ken, and that he also wanted to sign Pierre Bourne, but the label tricked. But with its album dropping, and with the signing of Destroy Lonely, this marked a turning period for Opium to where they was focusing more on the dark aesthetics and focusing more on the aggressive music. Around this time, Ken Carson would drop Teen X Relapsed, which is a more polished version of Teen X, which was not bad, but it had a lot of potential and definitely needed the sound to be cleaned up and focused a lot more, which Teen X Relapse would end up doing. This is when Opium started being known for that rage sound. Teen X Relapse and Project X by Ken Carson both dropped this year. The next year after that, Destroy Lonely would drop No Stylist, which, while definitely has cues from his older music with the more ambient plug type sound, he also used a lot of rage beats on songs like No Stylist, Fake Niggas, Bergdorf, Venomous Cove, etc, etc. Now, Destroy Lonely's been an outlier this entire time because he never really focused on making rage music. In 2023, he would drop uvxcx, which is a lot more reminiscent of like old Deftone albums and synth rock than it is a quote-unquote rage album. It's a lot farther from Whole Lotta Red than even Die Lit is. But obviously we can't go further without mentioning Homixide Gang, the third act to be signed by the Opium label. While Snotty World was decent, Snotty World Deluxe is definitely what I say put them on the map and showed them that they had potential, showed the whole world that they have. To this day, there's some hits on that album. And then they just been kind of slowly dropping off until mediocrity. Now, as of me recording this, I have not listened to Homixide Lifestyle 2. I've heard it's actually really good. I just haven't listened to it yet. But Snotty World Deluxe and Homixide Lifestyle 1 are definitely what they're most known for, as they're probably some of the best rage projects the scene has seen so far. Fast forward to 2025, and then I Am Music released. Now, the goal of I Am Music, we've known since 2023 that the sound was gonna be a lot more inspired by Lil Wayne and Old Wayne mixtape. We've seen how he had Swamp Izzo on the album, and it's very reminiscent of old ATL early trap mixtapes, while still having that like distinct sound of its own. But then a new brand started popping up, which is YVL and the Young Vamp Life thing, which was definitely more prominent in 2024 2025, but we really didn't know what it was yet. And so far, the only confirmed signees to this brand are Apollo Red One and She Loves Michi, neither of which I've really heard enough of their music to make a judgment on quality or whether or not it's good or bad. But what I will say is, I feel like a lot of people are misunderstanding YVL. I don't think that Opium's going away anytime soon. Think of Opium as like a company, and YVL is a brand that the company makes. You feel me? Like Apple is the company, but like the iPhone is what they make. So YVL is basically Carti trying to give back to the community, it seemed like, with him co-signing people like Tana and BK the Ruler under this YVL umbrella. I don't think YVL is going to be replaced by Opium, or that Opium is about to turn into YVL. I just think YVL is kind of Carti giving back to the community and showing appreciation to people who were definitely inspired by Whole Lotta Red and Opium's movement in general, and recognizing the talent that the underground has.
You're listening to a 2 exclusive.